It's still in a break-in period on this bike. I'm in standard mode here. Yeah, bit of buyer's remorse because I like the soft suspension on a Transalp on the road within reason. Within reason, you had to slow down because it boinged a bit when you had consecutive potholes, but probably could still, I don't know, any sports tourer you're gonna have to slow down when things get rough. I know when you get up, when you start pushing it with a firm suspension, it can work in your favour as long as you don't it doesn't break your back with a jarring. But I don't know, I'm getting on a bit. Look at beautiful Mount Warning and the beautiful scenery around here. I'm getting on a bit, and I've got to be honest with myself. I do enjoy trying to improve as a road rider. I come from an off-road background, and as a returning rider, but the road side of it was a bit of a, not exactly my comfort zone. I had owned an FJ 1200 back in the day, but I only owned that for a couple of years. I did all what you would normally do on an FJ 1200, but I wouldn't say I was an accomplished road rider. I was a lot better off-road rider than road rider. People that have ridden bikes will understand what I'm talking about. So as a returning rider, I've really enjoyed trying to improve my road skills, the technique of front brake. Bit of a eye-opener from person that came from a non-ABS bikes and all that. No traction control on the bikes back in the day. So still got the 21-inch front wheel on the front. So like the off-road bikes have similar size wheel and 18-inch on the back. But it definitely with it improved suspension, with the suspension being more firm, it's definitely more like a proper sports tourer on road. Got to be a bit careful because we're still running the bike in on the brakes and so forth. I've got the Tech 7 boots on, which I've put leather softener on the Tech 7. So if you own Tech 7s, putting leather softener on really improves the feel on your rear brake and your toe on your brake lever. You got to put plenty of leather softener on. The stuff you buy, the premium stuff you buy for soften up leather boots or plastic. I think you can soften up plastics, leather, vinyl. Because I don't know how much of this boot's actually leather. Probably not much. It's X7s, but it definitely softens everything up, so you can flex your sole. You can feel the rear brake a lot better. And I put WD-40 on the joins of where the boot creaks. When you buy Tech 7s, they make a squeaky noise. So I put a heaps of WD-40 and it's got rid of a squeak. These were about 12 months old and we just wouldn't break in. I couldn't break them in. I hadn't used them much. I'd used RST Adventure tyres and they fell apart after 12 months. So I went back to the Tech 7s, which I used for the rally, 300 rally. They were a little bit stiff for the Transalp, 23 models, so I stopped using them. But since the other ones fell apart, I thought I'll give them another go. I've softened them up after watching a YouTube video. I can't remember the guy's channel name, but thanks for the tip. He showed on his video where to put the WD-40 and he covered it with leather softener and it worked. So it's like wearing different boots now. You can actually feel the rear brake, which was my biggest complaint about the Tech 7s prior to putting leather softener on, was not being able to properly feel the brake. Like when you're doing feathering of the rear brake on corners, I couldn't feel it. It was like an on-off switch. So when you put the leather softener on it really softens up, and you try flexing the Tech 7 boot before you put this leather softener on and the WD-40, then flex it afterwards, and it's a lot softer. So it means you can actually bend your toe a bit, and your brake lever foot. Makes a huge difference. You can actually go off the balls of your feet, back onto your heels, your toes even if you want. You can go all different riding positions on the heel, which you couldn't really do before because it felt like a bit of lead because there was no flex in the sole of the boot. No, it's pretty good. Hi, welcome back to the channel. Beautiful spring day, northern New South Wales. I'm a 25 Transalp. We're just discussing the biggest difference between the 25 and the 24, 23 model Transalp. So this is the 25 model with the revised suspension. Make sure you don't buy a 25 model, which is still a 24 model build. If you're not really up on the Transalp, because it can be a trap for new buyers. People haven't really watched too many YouTube videos. The 25 model should show my 25 MY manufacturing year. That's what MY stands for, I believe. So sometimes the advertisement is 25 model, and if you look at the smaller print, it says my 24. It means it's the old model before the suspension was updated. Which is often right. You'll get it. They're cheaper to buy, and there's nothing wrong with them, believe me. In fact, I'm starting to think I should have just bought another 23, 24 model. Because I predominantly bought this to get the new warranty. To have a 2-year warranty in Australia again. My warranty had nearly run out, and I had 32,000 Ks on my old one. I had no issues, but I could have got the 23 and saved some money and softer suspension, because I'm starting to think, the sort of riding I do on the back roads, it's a lot firmer on the backside, feeling the bumps, and the ride is a lot firmer. I know that can be softened a bit with a preload. I could probably dial it right back to it felt like the 23 suspension, believe it or not, as far as sag is concerned, as far as preload is concerned, which may soften the feel of the ride up a bit. It's not a deal breaker because it's more fun in the corners. It's more sports touring bike. In fact, it's pretty good. And if you come up with 23 model with sock suspension, you're definitely going to feel the difference. But I think the word's taut. The suspension's more taut, tracks straighter. But you're definitely going to feel the firmer ride in the forks and the rear. So you're going to feel it on your arms. It's more of a chattering on the front, and more of a jarring on the back, rather than the Transalp was more. This is more. So that's the difference. So we've obviously stiffened the spring up and sped it, and so the rebound is quicker, but less, quicker and shallower. Whereas the 23 model was like that. The new models. So you're going to feel the small bumps more on the 25, in my opinion, and that's doing 29,000 Ks on these back roads. I'm just getting used to this. I keep forgetting the bike's got a quick shifter on it, So I'm going up there. Apparently, yeah, you don't use it below 2,500 revs. So I'm just going to go back to, yeah, smooth as it's manual. But I can see when you're going quick shift and when you stand